One of the very neat things you can do with the fast track stuff, since you're custom building the track work, what I started to do is kind of, when I'm building the switches, extend the rails that come off to line up with other track work. For example, here in Wallace Junction, there's the first crossover that I made, a left-hand switch ready to go as part of the branch line up there. And what I decided to do was, as opposed to having a normal switch here, I just built this one, just came out of the fixture, and I extended, as you see, I extended these rails to come up to here to match with the other switch. And you might not be able to see it, but I marked at the end of the rail roughly where it's going to cut. And then what I'll do is I'll solder a few more PC board ties in here. It's ramped down, so on the quick stick itself, what I will do is here I'll cut these here, and then this section here will be able to kind of bend down the ramp when I put it in. I also extended these here out past the end of the switch, and I might have room to put one or two more again PC board ties in there, and then put in some of the other quick stick ties, the straight pieces to match up. This end here is just going to wind up going to flex track. That's going to go up around the peninsula curve, so that'll be fine here at this end, coming off, normally as it comes off the end of the quick stick. So I like that. It's kind of neat. You can kind of customize your track work a little bit. If I was really good, and I'm nowhere near it, I don't know if I could have actually made this switch continue this rail here all the way through the crossover, so it's all one piece of rail. Like I said, there's no way I'm not smart and have the patience to do that. But this way, otherwise I would have had to put a small piece of flex in here and a small piece of flex in here, which is certainly doable. Not a huge deal, but it's extra rail joiners and whatnot. And if I can just keep the track as one piece, remove some of those extra joiners, I figured I'll give it a shot. I do have an example of one that I've done. Pardon me while I walk around the peninsula here. This particular right-hand switch, I did that as well. Not quite as long, but here's the normal end. I extended the rails to match with this switch, which is sitting where it's going to be located. And you can see here, these are the additional, I put 2 additional PC board ties soldered in to keep it gauged, and then these are straight quick sticks that I plyo bonded to the bottom of it. So that, again, I would have had to put a short piece of flex. Sorry for the pause. The phone rang, of course, right when I'm recording something. So like I said, put in some additional of the quick sticks, straight ones here. Made it all one piece to avoid using a smaller piece of flex, and eliminate 2 extra rail joiners. And plus, electrically, this is all continuous now. I'll probably put a feeder in here, but really this rail is actually continuous all the way down through here to here. And again, from here, this end of the switch will disconnect the flex track, which will go around the curve. For all the crossovers, I have gone through, you'll see the rails are laying here. I actually set them on in the actual locations with the quick sticks, cut the rails to size, again, to match up. For example, this is where the one throw bar for this crossover is, and for that crossover. So you can see there'd be a really tiny piece of flex I'd have to put in there. So what I did is I made this switch long enough to go right to this switch. So this one will extend over. So I did that for all the switches, every single crossover. I have all the rails, marked. They're not yet filed. Anything of the stock rails and the point rails and the frogs aren't yet filed, but they're all here marked and ready to go, so I can start working on the crossovers. Just a little bit there on that, and some more as I do some additional fast track stuff. I'm about to make the next crossover. The first one went okay, a little bit of learning curve, but not a bad system. More to come. Thank you. Alright, so here it is. Here's that switch sitting in the quick sticks there. You can see I soldered on the additional PCB board ties. I was able to use a straight fixture for the longer leg there, and for the other 2 I kind of laid the turnout on the bench and line things up and solder it up. There's the sticks I may use for the ties in between, or individual ties, not totally sure. So that went up pretty well. Pretty happy with that. So one thing I like to do here, I've been staring at this list way too much. So although it's not really finished yet, because I still have to glue it in and cut the frogs and that kind of stuff, I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what? Whoop, whoop. That's some progress. There we go. That's what we have to do. So, and I apologize for the workbench, is a mess, but here's all the ones currently built. They're in for final commissioning for track laying. It's going to start probably tomorrow or maybe Sunday. We're going to pull wires tonight and maybe start laying some tracks. So these some of them need to have the frogs cut. I need to have the feeder wire for the frog put in. Make sure all the points are nice and filed. Make sure that everything operates smoothly. But we're getting there. So obviously I have a few more lefts of manufacture as opposed to rights. And I do have a list of the critical ones that are needed. There, that's kind of what we need to have the main line run in so I can get trains running by my son's birthday, which we're going to keep pushing for. So, alright, more to come. So far that worked out pretty well. Pretty happy with that. Like I said, it keeps a nice continuous run. And on to make crossover number 2.